Historic image from the period of the Great Depression. On the day known as Black Tuesday, the sign reads, 100 will buy this car, must have cash, lost all on the stock market. For comparison, at that time, a new car was sold for approximately $2,500. The weekly income for an industrial worker was $25. On this day, stocks lost much value, forcing many to sell goods, such as cars, at low prices. This is how the Great Depression began, a time of high unemployment and economic difficulties that lasted for years. Image of D-Day, June 6, 1944, when the Allies landed on the beaches of Normandy, France, during World War II. This key event opened a new front against the Nazi forces in Europe, marking a decisive turning point in the war. This event was an important turning point in World War II. About 156,000 soldiers on the first day, mainly from the United States, the United Kingdom, and Canada, faced very dangerous conditions, but the operation helped liberate Europe from German control. The success of this mission had a great impact, leading to the end of the war in Europe in May 1945. Famous photograph of the participants of the Fifth Solvay Conference on quantum mechanics, taken in 1927. This image is known as the most intelligent photo ever taken, as among the notable figures present are Albert Einstein, Marie S. Curie, and Niels Bohr. 17 of the 29 participants were or became Nobel Prize winners, which is a testament to the impact and significance of the event and the people involved. This conference was a historical milestone in science, bringing together some of the greatest physicists and chemists of the time to discuss the newly developed theory of quantum mechanics. The photograph is not just a record of a meeting of brilliant minds, but also a representation of international collaboration in science. The image shows a group of Americans parading with Nazi uniforms and flags in New Jersey, USA, on July 18, 1937. Comprising almost 1,000 men, this march was organized by the German-American Bund, which promoted German Nazi culture and ideals in America before World War II. This event is a striking example of how extremist ideologies can spread and find support, even in countries with strong democratic traditions. Despite being shocking, this support was minor and ephemeral, ending when the U.S. entered the war. The image shows one of the most iconic moments in the history of sports and society in the 20th century. The American athlete Jesse Owens on the Olympic podium after winning the gold medal in the long jump at the Summer Olympics of 1936, held in Berlin. This event is notable not only for the athletic triumph, but also for the historical and political context. Berlin at the time was the capital of Nazi Germany, a regime that promoted racist and racial superiority policies. Owens, a black athlete, challenged these ideologies by winning 4 gold medals during the Games, demonstrating the fallacy of the Aryan supremacy theory promoted by the Nazis. His success was a powerful response to racism and an affirmation of civil rights and human dignity. Photo of the terrible disaster of the Hindenburg, which occurred on May 6, 1937. This incident involved the LZ-129 Hindenburg, a German airship, which caught fire and was destroyed during its landing attempt in Lakehurst, New Jersey. The disaster was one of the deadliest in aviation history to that date, and marked the end of the era of airships as a popular means of transatlantic transport. 35 people on board the airship and 1 ground worker were killed when the Hindenburg caught fire and was destroyed during its landing attempt. This is considered the oldest photograph still existing of the White House, taken in 1846. The image, despite clear signs of wear, captures the presidential residence of the United States with a clarity that allows us to glimpse what the building was like nearly 2 centuries ago. The photo is an important historical document, offering a window to the past and showing the White House before the many remodelings and expansions that would occur over the following years. The image captures a significant moment in history, the construction of the Statue of Liberty in Paris in 1881. Workers are seen assembling the internal support structure, which is impressive for its size and complexity. What we see is part of the process of creating this iconic monument before it was disassembled and shipped to the United States, where it was reassembled and became a symbol of welcome to visitors and immigrants, as well as an emblem of freedom and democracy. Rosa Parks, an iconic figure in the fight for civil rights in the United States, in the foreground, with Martin Luther King Jr. in the background. This photograph, captured in Montgomery, Alabama, around 1955, is historic and symbolic, as it represents two of the most influential civil rights activists in American history. Rosa Parks is known for her courage in refusing to give up her seat to a white passenger on a segregated bus, an act that triggered the Montgomery bus boycott and became a crucial point in the civil rights movement. Martin Luther King Jr., in the background, was also a key player in organizing the boycott and emerged as a leading voice in the movement for racial equality through nonviolence and civil disobedience. This image captures a moment of meeting between generations, where a group of young shoe shiners is gathered around an elderly veteran of the American Civil War in Pennsylvania in 1935. The veteran, characterized by his long beard and period attire, contrasts with the young people around him who are dressed in white aprons typical of shoe shiners of that period. While the boys may represent the youth and everyday work of the Depression era, the Civil War veteran brings with him the memories of a conflict that deeply marked the history of the United States. This image portrays a historic moment in Paris, dated around August 25, 1944, during World War II. American soldiers are seen watching the French flag, known as the tricolor, flying again on the Eiffel Tower. This act symbolizes the liberation of Paris from Nazi rule, and is a scene that reflects the relief and celebration of the end of the German occupation in the city. The presence of the iconic Eiffel Tower in the background and the raising of the national French flag are powerful symbols of sovereignty and freedom. Young Winston Churchill, at 21 years old, dressed in the uniform of a cornet of the Hussars of the 4th Queen's Own Hussars Regiment, dated 1895. At this stage of his life, Churchill was starting his military career before becoming the renowned statesman and Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, who led the country during World War II. Photographer in Warsaw, in November 1946, using a painted backdrop to conceal the ruins left by World War II. Behind him, we see the real destruction, but in front, a woman is photographed sitting in front of a bucolic image that contrasts drastically with the reality around her. This technique was a way to provide subjects with a sense of normalcy and escape, even if momentary, from the traumas and devastated environment of the war. The photography captures a period when Poland and many other parts of Europe were in the process of recovery and reconstruction after the massive conflicts and destructions. It is a powerful representation of the human desire for beauty and normalcy amid chaos. Notable moment from early 20th century culture, where the renowned comedian and filmmaker Charlie Chaplin attends the premiere of his film City Lights in Los Angeles. dated February 2, 1931, accompanied by the famous physicist Albert Einstein. Both are icons in their respective fields, Chaplin in entertainment and Einstein in science, and the photograph documents the crossing of these two worlds. Photograph of Pablo Picasso, captured in 1958, in which he appears with a hat and holds a revolver and a necklace, a gift from actor Gary Cooper. Picasso is widely recognized as one of the most influential artists of the 20th century, having played a key role in the development of Cubism, in addition to significantly contributing to modern art. This image shows a less formal and more playful side of Picasso, contrasting with the often serious and intense nature of his art. Solemn historical record of the liberation of a Nazi concentration camp, depicting the liberation of the Bergen-Belsen camp in April 1945. The scene captures a moment of relief, mixed with the profound sadness of those who survived the Holocaust. The liberation of these camps was a turning point for the end of World War II and revealed to the world the extent of the horrors of the Nazi regime. The image is a painful reminder of the need to remember and learn from history so that such atrocities are never repeated. In 1945, at the end of World War II, German soldiers were gathered to watch revealing videos. These videos expose the horrific truth of the concentration camps where millions of people were brutally persecuted and murdered. The showing took place in Germany so that the soldiers could see the crimes committed by their own country. This marked a moment of facing reality and played an important role in acknowledging the atrocities of the Holocaust and in trivializing any remnants that might remain of the Nazi ideals. Image of then Princess Elizabeth, who later became Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom, serving as an ambulance driver for the Auxiliary Territorial Service during World War II in 1945. This image shows the future queen contributing to the war effort in a very practical and direct way. The photograph is also a reminder that during times of conflict, people of all social positions and layers of society can come together in common efforts, and that many women played crucial and active roles in the war, often in roles traditionally occupied by men. The photo captures a historic meeting between Winston Churchill and Charlie Chaplin on the set of the film City Lights on September 24, 1929. Churchill, who would become the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, is dressed formally, while Chaplin, the iconic actor and filmmaker, dresses casually. This moment symbolizes the intersection of politics and culture, bringing together two influential figures from their respective spheres. The image reflects the popularity and international reach of cinema at the time, as well as the interest of world leaders in the arts and the entertainment industry. This photograph depicts Queen Victoria of the United Kingdom, surrounded by members of European royalty, at a royal wedding in Coburg, Germany, in 1894. Among those present are the future King Edward VII of the United Kingdom, Tsar Nicholas II of Russia, and his wife Tsarina Alexandra, as well as Kaiser Wilhelm II of Germany and Empress Frederick. This event highlighted the close relations between the royal houses of Europe at the time, and preceded a period of major changes and conflicts on the continent with the arrival of the 20th century. The image shows a winter landscape of Central Park in New York, captured on February 12, 1933. In the background, we see the iconic plaza buildings standing out against the sky. In the foreground, two people contemplate the scene, reflected in the partially frozen waters of the park. This urban scene is a testament to the contrast between nature and architecture in the city and a time capsule of a New York of the past. This photo portrays a human and compassionate moment during a time of conflict. A wounded Japanese soldier being attended to by Australian soldiers after being captured near Nauru on the Kokoda Trail in New Guinea in October 1942. The Kokoda Trail was the scene of intense fighting during World War II, and this image is a powerful reminder of shared humanity beyond the battle lines. The care provided to the prisoner reflects adherence to the laws of war, prescribing the humane treatment of the captured. This image is a color representation of a historical photograph of Union soldiers during the American Civil War, approximately in 1862. They are posing proudly with a cannon, an essential element on the battlefield at that time. The expressions and postures of the men reflect the seriousness and commitment to the cause of the Union. These images are valuable for understanding the lives of soldiers during the conflict that defined an era in the United States and had a profound impact on the nation's trajectory. Salvador Dali on the deck of the SS Normandy docking in New York City in 1936. This ship was known for being one of the most opulent and technologically advanced ships of its time, representing the pinnacle of transatlantic travel in the 1930s. The year 1936 situated the world in an interwar period, a time when art, culture, and industrial innovation were at their peak before Europe would plunge back into conflict with the Second World War. Image capturing the celebrations in Wall Street, in the financial heart of New York, on November 7, 1918, after the news of Germany's surrender that would mark the end of World War I. The streets are filled with people. Papers thrown from the windows of offices float in the air like confetti, and flags are displayed with pride. This moment represents the relief and joy of the people as they celebrate the end of one of the most devastating conflicts to that date. Photo of the legendary American sharpshooter Annie Oakley around 1903. Annie Oakley was an iconic figure of the American Wild West, known for her impressive skills with firearms and performances in shows of the famous William Buffalo Bill. She became an international celebrity and a role model for women at that time, challenging gender norms and demonstrating skills many considered exclusively masculine. This photograph captures the essence of her personality, determination, and a discreet grace. This photo shows a group of Texas cowboys taking a break for lunch around a wagon during a cattle drive in 1900. They are preparing food on improvised fires, a typical scene of field work on long journeys of driving cattle across open landscapes. The wagon, likely a chuck wagon, was essential on the trips, transporting food and supplies. This moment captures the camaraderie and rustic lifestyle of American cowboys in the early 20th century. Photo of Gavrilo Princip, the historically known figure for assassinating Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria on June 28, 1914, an event that triggered World War I. The photo was taken in his cell at the Terezín Fortress in 1914, where he was incarcerated for his acts. Princip's expression is intense, and the portrait offers a rare view of the young man whose actions had immense and lasting global consequences. Photo of two young brothers, Michel and Edmond Navratil, from 1912, known as the orphan survivors of the Titanic disaster. The Navratil brothers gained notoriety for being the only children rescued from the Titanic who were not accompanied by a parent or guardian, which created a mystery at the time and a story that captured the public's attention. Their survival was a miracle amidst the tragedy that was the sinking of the Titanic, which is remembered as one of the most tragic maritime accidents in peacetime. Photo of Rosa Shanina, a Soviet sniper during World War II, recognized for her extraordinary skill and courage. With 59 confirmed kills, Shanina became one of the most feared and respected snipers in the Red Army. Her confident posture and determined look in the photo reflect the strength and determination that characterize so many women who fought on the front lines during the war. Shanina is a representation of the bravery and crucial role that women played in defending the Soviet Union. The image depicts a crucial historical moment, the signing of the Treaty of Versailles in the Hall of Mirrors at the Palace of Versailles on June 28, 1919. This event marks the formal end of World War I, with the Allied powers and Germany agreeing to terms that would redefine the borders of Europe and impose heavy war reparations on Germany. The location, known for its grandeur and opulence, was chosen symbolically, as it was in the same hall that the German Empire was proclaimed in 1871 after the Franco-Prussian War. The signing of the treaty was a moment of relief, but also a prelude to future tensions that would eventually lead to World War II. This iconic photo shows a crucial moment in the history of civil rights in the United States. Ruby Bridges, a 6-year-old African-American girl, being escorted by U.S. Marshals as she enters William Frantz Elementary School in New Orleans, Louisiana, in 1960. Bridges was the first black child to desegregate a fully white primary school in the southern U.S. This event symbolizes the struggle against racial segregation and the ongoing resistance to equal rights in the United States at that time. The determination and courage of Ruby and her family played a significant role in the fight for the desegregation of the racial segregation system in public schools, marking a breakthrough in the fight for civil rights and educational equality. This image is a historical representation of the RMS Titanic at the port of Southampton, capturing the final preparations before its maiden voyage on April 10, 1912. The Titanic, one of the largest and most luxurious passenger ships of its time, is about to depart for its first and unfortunately last voyage, as it would sink after colliding with an iceberg 4 days later, in one of the most tragic maritime disasters in history. The photograph evokes the Belle Époque era, marked by optimism and technological progress, and the sad irony of what was known as the unsinkable ship. In this photograph, we can see a striking example of intimate fashion and portrait photography from the 1950s. It features a woman from that decade whose lingerie and sunglasses reflect the fashion trends and the growing freedom of women's expression at the time. The image serves as a time capsule, capturing the evolution of style and social behavior at a significant moment in cultural history.